Have you ever wanted $1 million, but in reality you knew that you were far, far, far away from having that kind of money? Yep, that would explain why you probably never got it. This is part 15 for why you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard this concept, I was mad as hell. Because by the time I heard this concept, I had already been introduced to The Secret. I had seen the documentary before I even heard of the book. But I was already in this alignment of think positive and you attract what you think about. And, you know, if you want something, just put it out into the universe and it will be drawn onto you. Listen, The Secret was a wonderful introduction to our co-creative abilities as humans in this reality. And it was only intended to be a foundation for us to do our own research, if I'm honest. Because if you ever watch the documentary, they always tell you who the great wise ones were that said the different quotes that they were quoting, that taught the different lessons that a lot of the speakers were speaking about. They even quoted Neville Goddard, which is the OG. It was only when I ran up against certain things that it was like, well, why can't I manifest this when I can manifest this cup of coffee? Or I can manifest something else that I saw as less difficult, right? When I grew aware of my own limitations within it all, I grew even more curious, like, all right, something's missing, something they're not telling me. And that's when I came across the teachings of Abraham and Esther Hicks, which put things into a context that I could really, truly grasp in terms of how I was showing up. Abraham taught things like ask and it is given, which is one of their books. One of my favorites is actually The Vortex, attracting relationships or something like that, because that one really puts a mirror in your face into how you show up and how everything is a relationship. Whether it's with people, whether it's with money, whether it's with circumstances, you are in a relationship with everything in this reality, and it puts a mirror in your face. You're seeing yourself in a particular way, and this is why you're not in alignment. You have something called resistance. They were the first ones to teach me about resistance. You have something called resistance, is what Abraham is saying. Like, you might want the relationship, for example, but there's parts of your dynamic with this person that you can't get over. You can't get over the parts that show you your limitations and how you're seeing this person and what you think you mean to this person and what you think this person means to you. And so because of that resistance, you're not able to have the harmonious relationship that you want. That is a limitation, right? So I could only maintain or attract what I am conscious of being in relation to this person. The same goes for money. If you see money, an amount of money that you think you want to have, but there are parts of you that feel like it's going to be too hard to get it. There's no way that I could work X amount of hours at my job and get that kind of money. Winning the lottery is too hard. The odds are against me. Like, if you have all these limited beliefs that tell you that there are limitations to how you can manifest this money, then you are in essence keeping yourself in a state of resistance towards money. And so you're not a match to having the money because you don't even feel like you can have it with ease and flow. And you're trying to control how you think it can come to you. And so that becomes the issue. And so you don't get what you want. You might want to be popular, but if you have insecurities, you're afraid to be seen, you're afraid to be heard, you're afraid of sharing your ideas, you're afraid of looking crazy to your peers, then you're not ready for popularity, because someone who is popular is pretty self-secure for the most part. They have at least enough within them to be okay with being seen. And so if you're not okay with being seen, you don't really want popularity. These are the things that you have to face within yourself. These are the things that Neville, beyond Abraham and Esther Hicks, when I learned from Neville, Law of Assumption, then I really started to see the mirror, right? Because he teaches that everything is literally you pushed out. So whatever you are assuming to be true is all that can be true for you. It doesn't mean it's the world's truth. It just means it's the truth that you have accepted and surrendered to. And so your life has to play out according to the truths that you have accepted, not the other way around. You get in your life what you believe is true for you. And so if you want different results, if you're looking at your neighbor saying, gosh, I wish I could have the kind of luck they have, or I wish I could have the kind of life they have. Listen, they got the kind of life they have because of their beliefs. They got the kind of life they have because of who they think they are in relation to their life. and the people in their life and the circumstances in their life and the opportunities in their life. You have the kind of life you have because of the same. And so if you want different results, you have to see yourself in a different light in relation to everything in your reality, including the people and the circumstances and the opportunities. And you have to decide to show up differently. Show up in a way that aligns you with what it is you truly want. And that goes for any relationship dynamic. Start seeing yourself and other people in the most ideal way. Start relating to them in the most ideal ways. And you'll start to see the shift in them because of how you choose to show up. Treat money like it's your best friend, like it's easy to come by, like you don't have to struggle just to get it. Like it comes into your experience with ease and flow, and it circulates often. You start to shift these beliefs around money even, and you'll start to see how money starts to flow differently into your reality. It's a mirror, guys. You don't get to get something different standing in the mirror doing the same thing. You get to get something different when you change and then go back and stand in the mirror. Then the mirror will reflect something different to you. It will reflect the change that you bring in front of it, not the other way around. This is why you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. It's time to align, y'all. It's time to align. Stay tuned for part 16, where I talk about how to make decisions from your future self. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is your reminder, and you got this.